Hi everyone, it's Becky here. So welcome to another new video on my YouTube channel. So this winter we're getting lots of snow here in Vancouver. And in today's video, I'm going to show you my full process drawing and painting this scenery outside my living room window. So because the scenery outside the window is very abstract, so I decided to include these 3 snowman ornamental lights at the foreground elements, and it also adds kind of like a playful feeling, a sense of narrative to this sketch. It's like these 3 snowmen are looking out at the snowy scenery. So I draw directly with my waterproof ink pen. I don't use a pencil, or I don't do a practice sketch before, so it's really about the ability to visualize the size and placement of everything on the blank page. So this is my way to sketch in a sketchbook. It's about improvisation without pre-planning. And I'm okay with things happening sometimes with an object cut off from the page. It's very natural with this mother snowman, half inside and half outside. Okay, and now I am drawing this table line where these snowmen are standing on. And after that, I'm starting to draw the hydrangea bushes, mostly the large branches and the little twigs. So I started with the base, and then for the top I use very loose lines because a lot of these thin twigs are being covered by the cotton-like snow chunks. And I know there are lots of overlapping on these hydrangea bushes, and actually I'm not really copying. I'm actually kind of summarizing what I see and what I feel about these snow chunks landing, attaching to the branches. And I'm using very loose lines to draw these circular, half circle, half squarish shapes of these snow cotton balls. And keep adding more dark things like the rails. And now drawing another bush. So I'm not really staring at the scenery, with staring at all of the details. That's too much work. I think it's gonna get tired very easily. So I'm just kind of looking at the scenery and kind of use my memory to draw the shapes that I remember, rather than staring at all of the details and try to copy what's out there. So this is a pretty actually relaxing process. Not stressed about being exactly the same as what's there. Only trying to capture the spirit of the things that I see and I feel. Okay, now I'm drawing this little maple tree. So this is in the next layer behind these bushes. So again, I'm now focusing only on the large branches. There are lots and lots of twigs intertwining. So I'm not worried about that. I'm only focusing on the large shapes. These large branches. Very aesthetic. And kind of drawing the layers of snow on there. And just drawing a few twigs and dried leaves that stand out really clearly to me. Okay, I think that's it for the maple tree. And now the next layer behind is the row of rails. So a lot of little vertical lines and horizontal lines being covered by the snowy bushes. Yeah, and that's it for the rails. And after that, I see another large size bush with bare branches and covered with a lot of snow chunks. So just drawing that. And there's another maple tree in a courtyard. So actually behind those rails. add a few more twigs. So as you can see, I'm not drawing every single twig that's on these trees because that's too much details. So as an artist, we need to learn how to simplify. Okay, and here's another line on top that defines the walkway in the courtyard. Okay, and now I'm connecting something else. So above the walkway on the right hand side, there's this lamp. And a little bit pile of snow, and behind the lamp are the rails on the other side surrounding the houses. There are a lot of overlappings, so I'm seeing in between the spaces between the branches and twigs. And behind this rail, I have this crab apple tree, so the top of it is cut off by the frame of my page, and that's okay. So when sketching a landscape, we don't have to include every single thing that we see because that's too much. I think this is a really nice frame so far. So now I'm just adding the house structures behind. It look very abstract. I think this is just the basement part of the house, and that's it. So I'm pretty happy with the composition of the sketch because what I want to capture are the cotton pieces of snow on the bushes outside, and also the snowy field of the courtyard, but not the houses and the sky above. So I'm staying with my purpose of doing this sketch really well. I capture what I want to capture, just a piece of the landscape. Whoops, so I think I forgot to press the recording button in the beginning. So I just did a really quick basic painting. So I put lemon yellow, as you can see, for the tree trunks and part of the bushes and the field, and for the snowman to show the golden sunshine on everything. Okay, so actually most of this picture should be white with a snowy field, but there still should be some contrast. So now I'm adding the dark brown color of the tree branches and twigs of this maple tree in the middle. So I mix this dark brown color by mixing ultramarine blue into burnt sienna. The ultramarine blue, the more you add to the brown, the darker the brown is. So also part of the tree is kind of red-brown, so I actually mix in a little bit of red. There are different tones on a single tree, pretty much on everything. Nothing is really flat with one single color. Painting pretty loosely and thinly with my medium tip Sakura Water Brush. As you can see, I'm leaving some spots and stripes, white or golden yellow, to show the snow sticking on the branches and twigs. Okay, and adding the same kind of brown for this shorter tree over here, using very thin brush strokes. And that's it. That's pretty much it for these trees. And now I am adding a little bit more ultramarine blue into the burnt sienna and add the color for the walkway. Okay, and now I'm ready to paint these snowman lights. Now I'm adding some magenta red for the hats of the little snowman and the mother snowman's hat. Part of father snowman's scarf. I'm pretty happy with the decision of including these snowmen in my sketch because they have a really interesting form and vibrant colors that draws the viewer into the sketch. And now I'm just adding the shade for these spherical shapes of the snowman. The shade color is mixed by ultramarine blue add it into purple. So now they look more three-dimensional. The sunshine comes from the left-hand side, so the right side of these snowmen are in shade. Just using dark blue to paint the blue parts. The snowman's hat, scarf. Okay, now here comes a really important painting part of this sketch. So I just use the leftover blue and use thin brush strokes to paint the shadows on the snow. The shadows are coming from the rails and the bushes. And this is making this sketch so dramatic. And this is one of the reasons why I selected this scenery to sketch. I love those shadows. So the shadows on the snow are very often a purple bluish color. If you look very carefully, they're not gray. So if you look for a while, take some time. If you're in an area with snow, look at the shadows. They have a really nice, charming bluish tone. So I just added some more shadows for the snow in the courtyard. Okay, and now I'm ready to paint the exterior and the windows of those houses with kind of a green color because the windows are reflecting the trees around them. Okay, so this sketch is pretty much done, but now I just want to quickly add some final polish. Just use the dark brown to add the last bit of twigs. And, a little bit of color here and there, barely visible, but it's still pretty important. Just painting, adding tiny bit more dark brown details for the bushes here in the foreground. Being careful not to overpaint because I want to preserve a lot of white areas and the golden light. Okay, and just add a shadow on the table. It's another important detail. And lastly, just adding a dark purple color to add a shadow for the little snowman's hat. For this mother snowman's hat too. Just finish painting the scarf. And that's it. Here's the look of my finished sketch. It took me about 45 minutes. So thank you so much for watching my video. If you like my video, please click like and leave me a comment below. Subscribe to my channel for weekly updates. And I will see you again very soon. Okay, so I just finished the first session of my Sunday sketch together for January yesterday, and there are still 3 sessions left that you can still purchase. And the price has decreased to $15 for 3 sessions, so you can find the sign up link in the description part of this video.